Hello everybody, welcome. We're going to be doing a nice little game over here. We're going to be watching RevKizu's Kizu. He is the blue Protoss in the top left, going up against xSix's SycknesS. And this is something I'm very much looking forward to. xSix is a very strong team. I actually know a couple of them personally, Kwanda and Mike, who is actually known as Winter. Both of them just went on to sort of the managerial stats with xSix, so I'm very curious to see what their player is going to be able to do. Kwanda is a very strong Zerg in his own right, so to have him sort of be able to watch over and help out some of those Zerg players, I'm very curious to see what SycknesS will be able to accomplish. Kizu is a very strong player from RevKizu Gaming, from Team RevKizu. They're very cool people, so we're just going to go ahead and see what he's going to be able to do, as I've never seen him play before, and I'm curious to see what's going to be able to accomplish in this PvZ. And right off the bat, SycknesS is going to be in a little bit of a disadvantage in this game, considering the fact that he is spawning on the right when Kizu's on the left. This means that if SycknesS is going to try and take this as his third base, it's going to be vulnerable. Kizu will have a very short distance to push out, possibly take out this rocks, attack this third, and do some very nice damage. SycknesS is actually going to play a very safe game. I think this is actually a 12 or 13 pool, and this is something that I've actually seen Zergs doing more often lately to try and play safe against the Protosses that are being very aggressive. The pylons, cannon rushes, all of those cannot really do too much damage if you have those earlier lings. Plus, it doesn't really hurt your economy that much because you can always get out a faster queen. So I like this build by SycknesS. I'm just waiting for him to get down that hatchery and see what the timing of that is going to be. It looks like Kizu will be forge fast expanding, and I'm very curious about this pylon placement from him. I'm kind of really curious to see about what he would do against a 6 pool in particular, as forge fast expanding is very risky against that, and the thing is, Kizu did not actually scout with a second probe. It's something I usually recommend for Protosses to do, is to scout with their after the first pylon, go down here or something, and then if they don't scout in the first try, what the Zerg is doing, they build the forge and use that probe to scout for the 4th spot, just to make sure you can see that 6 pool in time, to make sure you can go ahead and wall off accordingly and have a much better position. And another thing about the building placement over here is that if you look at Kizu's building placement, I like it more for the middle game than the early game. Maybe you can wall off with like a gateway or something to try and defend the 6 pool or something, but maybe even a gateway cannon, that might actually work out well. Now I'm trying to actually analyze that and think about it, but this one cannon is great for the non-early pools because it's going to defend pretty much this entire area, but something Kizu's going to have to be aware of is this spot. Hopefully they'll throw down a pylon or something to make sure Lings can't get a straight surround against this cannon. But I mean, if you look at what Kizu has scouted so far, he's pushed over and he's seen the spawning pool and they've seen the hatchery. He hasn't seen the gas. I want to play a little bit more defensively when you don't see the gases from your Zerg opponent, because you can't tell if he's getting metabolic boost or if he's going to go ahead and just go for a straight up Baneling bust. Zerg's Baneling busts against forge expansions, especially with building placement like this, are deadly. So I'm curious what Kizu is going to be doing to follow up with this and try and get up that infrastructure to hit for probably a mid-game attack. You can't just forge expand and be passive. You have to try and get some kind of aggression against the Zerg, because Zerg can just drone up to 80 drones very quickly in the face of a forge fast expand, a passive forge fast expand. So hopefully Kizu will put a little bit of pressure on, as that's a very strong thing to do. We have the cybernetic score going down now. Zealot is being made. If you look at this forge, it's you could get actually a very fast +1 attack if Kizu wants to go for that. He could then be aggressive with some zealots in a very effective manner. SycknesS is getting out his next queen. First one is out. He's spawning larva, looking to be pretty solid with his infrastructure right now, playing it very safely. He could probably get a third pretty soon if he really wanted to. Kizu, as of right now, is just rallying guys from his main and his natural nexus to that natural, just to make sure that he can go ahead and be as efficient as he possibly can. We are seeing the warp gate getting chronoed out. Still no upgrading from that forge, and they're going to have the fast third base from SycknesS. Very nice play, but oh, Kizu has a hidden probe. He can easily throw down a pylon, be aggressive. We're going to have this one zealot pushing forward, as we're going to probably see him force out a couple of Zerglings, but this is a nice way to make sure that SycknesS can't just strictly drone and be effective with that, though drone micro could be effective against the zealot. Now we're going to see him actually employ the drone micro. He's going to pull back, but this zealot's actually doing enough damage, probably just in mining time alone. We're going to see it walk in, get the scout, it's seeing the lair morphing, and actually that lair is going before the spawning pool is getting metabolic boost. So SycknesS is going to try and probably go for some kind of fast Muta or Infestor play, but if SycknesS realized that the meta bug was only just now starting, it's not done, he's not really seen any lings, but he can be really aggressive in the face of this. He is getting his +1 attack. We're watching him throw down gateways. He could be going for a nice attack. By the time that these couple gateways finish, we're going to be able to have a few cycles of units being warped in to be aggressive, especially with this pylon, but oh, never mind. SycknesS is going to be able to see the pylon, take it out. Goodbye to that probe, and this pylon is not going to be able to, it's going to get cancelled? It's not going to get cancelled, it's going to get killed without too much difficulty, as the warp gate is not quite done, and the sentry does manage to pick off that overlord supply, blocking SycknesS at 54, but we are seeing a few overlords being produced. Now the +1 melee attack is going to be researched, and actually that's kind of going to be a little bit of an issue. Kizu has a nice forward pylon, a very safe forward pylon, with this guy over here can reinforce very, very quickly any attacks that he's going to do, and now we're switching to 5 gates with the +1 attack about to complete. Sentries are out. They all have a nice bit of energy, and they're going to pick off that one ling that's trying to look for any kind of sky information that he can. Now Kizu's actually going to get Robo out, and this is going to be great. He can even do double prong attacks with the War Prisms or something if he wants to be aggressive in that respect. But now we're watching all these lings, but here's the thing, they don't have the carapace upgrade, and it's not being researched. We see that this Evolution Chamber is getting down that melee attack, but these Zealots, they have the +1 attack. That could make a huge difference. Even though SycknesS has an overwhelming force of lings, good force fields, good control of those Zealots, and these lings might not be able to take down this force. It's 24 exactly. Now we see them start getting taken down, and they're not joining forces together. These guys are getting taken down very efficiently with these +1 Zealots. It's a small force, but it's a great time to push in. We can see SycknesS is trying to drone up, but without the lings to really get in there with that carapace upgrade, these Zealots are ripping them apart. Only 3 sentries here, and they're still managing to do a lot of damage, and the +1 melee attack's not even done yet. SycknesS is trying to get out his roaches. That's something that he really needs to do, but as you can see, SycknesS may actually end up losing this 3rd base. Stalker's reinforcing, and they've got their own +1 attack to deal with the roaches, and Kizu's being very, very offensive, bringing more and more units at an awkward time to attack. You can see SycknesS is caught completely off guard with a really well-timed push by Kizu, but SycknesS does have his overseer. He is watching as that Robo is just sitting there, and SycknesS is going to lose this base. There's no way that this is actually going to survive. See, these lings are going to, oh, they could have been force field and actually been taken out just by the rally point, but this Roach will go down. Now we're seeing more pushing in. Broodling's going to go ahead and snipe off that probe, but this proxy pylons are so efficient. We're seeing the nice guard and shield, but more Zealots coming in. So strong against this early game attack. We're going to see, oh, one more force field. Oh, one more force field. That would have been perfect. 2 force fields back here, and these guys are going down, but that force field is going to actually serve to buy Kizu time. It's not meant to kill off this force. It's meant to allow Kizu to get another round of warpins to reinforce, I would assume. There we go. Now we're watching the sentries and everything going in, but we can see that Kizu is no warpins left. He is just strictly keeping this very, very aggressive. These are slow roaches, by the way. The Galileo Constitution just now began. You can see the timer on that very, very low, especially on the production tab as well. But, ooh, this is really interesting. Now they have a little bit of time to look around the main base of SycknesS. We can see he's got the infestation pit, and he's getting that pathogen glands. He's got the pass through second mark. He can build infestors so they pop out with enough for a fungal growth immediately, but SycknesS is in a rough spot. Losing that 3rd is a bad position. If you look at SycknesS, though, he's actually researched Burrow. He has Burrow, so those infestors can be very, very annoying and can get some nice harassment done. One observer is out on the field, but there are a couple of mortals, actually just a single immortal, more being produced, and oh, this is going to be deadly. Kizu is getting a double Robo Colossus transition set up, and he's going to have to try and get his Exo up in the face of the Ling. By the way, a perfectly normal timing to expand for a Protoss is 13 or 14 minutes in, and as you can see, it's not even 13 minutes in. Kizu has been so aggressive, he can even delay that time even more and just be content because he's forcing these 2 hatches to be made. Only one's at a base, one is a macro hatch. SycknesS is doing a great job of macroing in the face of all damage is taken. Even probe, even drone count, income is going to be very, very similar for both players, as SycknesS is ready to go ahead and push. And now with Kizu getting this double Robo, getting those Colossus, this is going to be very, very deadly. You can see SycknesS is very low economy, and I don't think he has to Spire anything up yet, so he's going to take a lot of damage from those Colossi. He can't get Corruptors out in time for a very strong push, unless a Spire gets put down very, very quickly. As we can see, it has not been scouted yet, so there's not very easy time for SycknesS to actually respond to this. Plus, he's invested in infestors for this part of the game, and so if he doesn't get out that Spire soon, it's going to be very rough. And actually, I can cheap out in the production tab and show you that the Spire is getting put down. So, corruptors are going to need to be put up very, very soon. We can see the Zergling is still there and ready to block that third even more. But SycknesS is now going to be able to get his 5th and 6th gas geysers. And he's got, there's a Zerg right on the field. It's not over here, so we can't see the Zerglings. And it seems like Kizu is investing his time with the Robos to get up to Colossus. He wants that push. Now we're seeing him pushing forward. He's actually looking for Lings or something to delay that third. But he doesn't have the Observer with his army, so he can't see that Ling, and that is so frustrating as Protoss when you actually make the choice to look and try and find if there are Zerglings there to prevent that probe from getting down that Expo, and it's a burrowed Ling. So annoying. But now, what this might mean is that Kizu may decide just to be incredibly aggressive and just push and attack. And now we see that forward pylon inside the base, very, very safe, working to go for a nice push. He'll be able to reinforce it very, very efficiently as we're going to watch as more units come in, and another forward pylon. Kizu's not actually attacking the debris. I think he wants to force SycknesS to come through this choke and not let SycknesS get a surround by using the disruptive debris path itself. Because as you can see, Kizu knows exactly where this army is positioned. So now we're watching as this Ling's doing a nice job of patrolling, looking for more bases. But now it looks like we have an engagement coming in here. SycknesS going to push in, going to get hit by some nice forces, blocking off a lot of those units. As we can see, nice fungals on the middle of the base, on the middle of the army from those infestors. More forces being thrown down. More fungals need to be cast. As we're going to see, pushing forward, we're having SycknesS going to be prey to. Oh god, he's got the corruptors up now, though. We can see the Colossi doing such a nice job of splash damage, swiping everything. SycknesS may just not have those units in there. And actually, was that just a blink? Looks like Kizu's managed to get blink during this time, and he's still got sentries with energy and Immortal to help even more. Look at that, 12 kills on this Immortal, being so good with its DPS, taking out more and more roaches. See, the Colossi are getting handled by the Corruptors, but the Immortal count is still nice. These two Immortals have been around for a while, 14 and 7 kills each. We have the +1/+1 upgrades out for Kizu. As we can see, that SycknesS here has got his +1 at missile attack, +2 researching, but these Immortals are here, and this hatchery could be having a very short lifespan. As we can see, that third did try and get thrown down by Kizu, but that probe is actually delaying that very, very nicely. This Zealot might actually die. No, it doesn't die to the Broodlings. But SycknesS is on such a low economy right now. We're having a little bit more of an income for him, but the drone count is very, very similar. We're going to see SycknesS going to have to defend this position in a very rough spot. He's in a choke. You see drones being pulled. Stalkers here getting blinked to keep them alive. Nice job. And infested Terran, because there's not enough energy on that infestor to fungal growth. And these the Mortals still have 34 kills, with 35 kills between the two. So much damage. Oh my god, SycknesS is being ripped apart by this army. 22 kills on that Immortal before it finally goes down. 20 kills on this guy. These are some of the most effective Immortals I've ever seen. So even though Kizu's being low economy himself, he's keeping SycknesS onto a very, very bad economy. This base is going to go down again. Where you see a third base being taken down multiple times within such quick succession. His handling is very, very effectively. Lings are... oh my god, the +2 attack is finished. Lings still without carapace upgrades. This is horrible for SycknesS right now. See, the food counts are so much in favor of Kizu, and Kizu is working to get a cannon down there to take down that Zerg, so he can try and get up that Expo. You can see he's mined out in his main. His natural is overly saturated. He's actually going to start distance mining to keep up his economy. Look at how many probes distance mining. It's going to be actually pretty effective for his income. Let's keep an eye on that. It's going to be fun to watch that skyrocket once those guys really start moving in there. But now this Observer is still around here, looking for making sure that no burrow shenanigans can win the game for SycknesS. One force down there. I think that was misplaced, supposed to be on the ramp, but drones are being pulled, and this is pretty much going to be the death blow. I can't imagine all these drones going down. It's going to imagine that SycknesS can actually pull back from this. This is not going to happen. Transfusers being cast. Infestor fungal grows very, very nicely, but this Immortal now with 36 kills. That's obscene. A nice fungal on all those cells. We see the burrow on those infestors, but just not enough. SycknesS calls GG. Very, very well played. SycknesS leaves the game, and now Kizu. Very nice aggressive play at the end of the game. 19 food for SycknesS. He just got contained horribly. Kizu just took down the third base multiple times. Nice double Robo Colossus play, and I really like that he didn't stick with those Colossi indefinitely. He made sure that he went back to the Immortals to make sure that those Colossi didn't get ripped apart by the Corruptors. Great aggression, good adaptation also with that third base being blocked by that burrowed Ling. It allowed for Kizu just to be like, okay, I'll distance mine and continue being aggressive. And since I've made sure that SycknesS can't get past the initial 3 bases, it doesn't matter that Kizu can't get up his own third base because he can just continue being aggressive and taking down drones. At the end of the game, 56 workers were killed by Kizu. Probably 30 or so of those were in that last battle when drones were pulled to defend, but still, that's roughly 26 drones killed in harassment, or really just not even harassment, just frontal attacks alone. So just keeping constant pressure, manages Kizu to represent Revoke and take out one of xSix's very strong players. So well done by Kizu. Hope you guys enjoyed the game.